Welcome to the Gentleman's Talk, where the podcast talks about a man's battle with mental health, his personal experiences, and his journey to be a better soul. Hosted by James Dean Littlejohn.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Gentleman's Talk. How are we? Hope we're all okay. I'm just setting myself up and getting myself comfortable, adjusting myself. Yes, I hope you've been alright. I hope everyone's had a good week or so. And I've not spoke to you in a little while, but there's been a very good reason why. Just set my music. Sorry, bear with me a second, please. Trying to get the right ambiance, as they say. So it's going to be a nice, relaxed one today. Really chilled. That's the main purpose. And the reason I haven't spoke to you in a while is a mixture of things, really. Lots going on in my life at the moment. And trying to juggle things and manage things, and I don't know, I just lost a little bit of my mojo, a little bit of the motivation, not so much my mojo, I think, because I've still been getting through life. I had a traumatic time a couple of weeks ago, just with my mental health, and I really took a reset, just a whole, back to basics again, reset with myself, because I couldn't understand why I was going to where I was going. I was finding things a little bit difficult, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. So I just thought to myself, hold on a minute, and it was a really traumatic time. And I just went, no, hold on, just take your time, just have a little cheeky reset, forget what you've done in the last 6 months. It's not forget, but just look at what not forget, but sort of analyse what you've done for the last 6 months. It's been a long 6, almost 7 months. And I've delivered a lot of podcasts. And, what I was trying to sort of ultimately do is move more into a quality over quantity sort of area. And I sort of found myself trying to sort of pump out podcasts, if you like. That's a good old word there, isn't it? Pump out podcasts. And I was trying to pump them out, get the idea out there, get people talking, offer advice, and I was really excitable for it. But I found myself sort of kind of losing the motivation and trying to understand where I was going wrong. I was making mistakes in life, which wasn't to do with the podcast. The podcast absolutely helped me. But what I needed to do was just reset myself. And by doing that, I just mean slowing down, capturing back up on myself, trying to just sort of understand if there's what's changed. Is there anything new in my life that's gone on? And, in reflection in the last 6 months, I've sort of changed my whole lifestyle. I've changed my whole approach to how I deal with my own mental health. Recently diagnosed with ADHD. So learning to live with that. Not learning to live with that's the wrong word, because I already know how to live with it, because it's diagnosed in my late 40s, or early 40s, sorry, my late 40s. In the views. But more like, I'm nearly 41. Okay, move on, James. So, I'm dealing with that, and not in a bad way, but in a good way, as in like trying to understand the pros, the cons, trying to put them towards, elements of my life, how I can manage things slightly differently. Doesn't mean they're going to go away, and I'm still sort of kind of looking at the medication side of things. Can I take one with the antidepressants? Or, there's a lot of questions I'm asking myself, and a lot of questions I'm asking my doctor at the moment, as well as moving on with regards to trying to manage my own pain, which is a big factor in causing me to be a miserable bastard anyway. And I'm still dealing with it now. It's under control, a little bit better now. So that's nice for me. So I'm able to sort of focus and sort of look at aspects of my life that maybe have changed and I've not dealt with properly. Maybe something recently's happened and I haven't analysed it properly. So there's a lot going on. There's absolutely a lot. So that's the reason why I've been a little bit quiet, just because, like I said, I want to offer quality over quantity and actually see how I'm developing, look at how I'm developing. I've taken a massive leap in the last 6 months, almost 7. In fact, we are just actually encroaching into 7 months. So from when I started this journey, and to go from where I was constantly depressed, challenging myself all the time to just survive, I've broken the norm. I've moved away from that and gone, no, absolutely not, James. You need to crack on and make a difference. And like I said, I've reset everything at the start of this journey. I've completely and utterly removed all the negativity from my life, which has included removing friends because of their nature or where they're at in their life, which is a difficult decision to make. And, you know, just ultimately look after my own mental health. And that has worked, absolutely worked, because I feel better. I've motivated myself as well to take on a new job. So there's a lot gone on in the last 4 months for that alone, starting a new job, and I've been in there almost 5 months now in this new job. And for me, that's a massive, massive leap from what I was doing to what I'm doing now. So all those pressures have come along. And yeah, I just lost a bit of motivation, really. But I needed to kind of take that time out, actually, because what it gave me the ability to do is stop relying on feedback from my closest of friends, who you know, theoretically, in all honesty, that subsided a little bit as well. So I was, and what I was conscious of was wasn't just pumping out content to just fill the void. And I felt like it was in the end. It wasn't getting to the point where I was dealing with quality content. So I needed to reset so that I can just basically go along the journey as I should, as I want to. And that's what sometimes a reset will take on board. I've moved on to TikTok as well, not for anything other than trying to promote this. So that's kind of where I'm getting my other daily fix now, with offering a little bit of advice in 2-minute bursts, which is fun for me because I get to offer, you know, simple advice, and then I get to offer proper advice, as in, you know, where and how I'm dealing with things on this platform. So it's really, really working well for me, and that's good. It takes a lot of my pressure off, as well as this new role is, you know, rightly so. The first 3 months it was a brand new team, and we've just started getting going properly now the last sort of 4 weeks, and it's been absolutely manic. I've been out on site visits. I've, like I said, you know, you've heard about me learning about, you know, taking on too much and challenge myself too much, where the point where I almost gave myself a mini breakdown. So I'm learning about myself and adapting things every single day. So for me, the best thing I did was reset. Absolutely. It's the advice I was giving everybody was reset, look at yourself, try new things. And do you know what? It really, really worked for me. And the positives that have given me the ability to talk to you is every single day I've been out for a walk, and on those walks I've managed to reflect. I've managed to look into myself and go, okay, you know, not in a weird way, you know, like literally pull my eyes out and pop them back in the other way, but just look inwards, just look at my own self, you know, my own self-being, look at my own group around me. Am I doing things right? Am I doing things wrong? And I wasn't paying a lot of attention to my best mate, who, you know, we've nurtured each other along for 28 years. So I was conscious I wasn't making the full engagement there, you know, and that's all hopefully going to change very soon. Where I'm just going to, again, hopefully offer him some top advice to get him into a new role, to take on a new challenge, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I realised a few things. I realised I just needed to reset. And also I was conscious that I was doing a lot of work again on a daily basis to interact. And I just pulled away a little bit just to see, again, if I needed to just... if anything was, you know, going on, or was I making all the effort, and just see how the lay of the land was. And I'd done that all on purpose. I had to do it on purpose because I just wanted to see. Make sure that, again, you're constantly evaluating yourself, making sure... oh, by the way, I've got a cheeky gin on tonight because I'm going to celebrate talking to you. So I must take a little sip of that to keep the throat moist, as they say. I don't know where they say that, by the way. So yeah, so I've you know, just reset, just looking around myself. And, you know, I needed to do that. I needed to reset and have a look. So I was doing a lot of reflection walks, which was absolutely imperative that I stuck to that. And I did. I was walking around with a dog. I was looking inwardly, things I'm doing wrong at work. And instantly I was like, right, okay, I've done that in work. That's making me feel that way. That's making me feel that way. Or I feel like I'm overworking a little bit. So maybe I need to just draw back a bit. So I was analysing my own well-being, and again, it's a new thing for me to do, because what I've done is, on this journey, is I've just kind of gone, bruh, you know, here I am, start, boom, experiences, advice, crack on, you know, and I didn't really I've given quite a bit of base, but I haven't really looked at myself. And I think this is something that I would advise everybody to do, especially if you're on a self-healing journey, something like I am, trying to better yourself, trying to remove the negativity from your past, trying to actually challenge this mental health syndrome you may have and go, do you know what? I need to challenge this. I can't keep living in this desperation. And if you're on that journey, if you just go through that journey constantly, just going, blah, 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 that's me shaking my head, by the way, just kind of turning it into a blur and going, okay, I'm listening to James, I'm listening to people around me, I'm engaging more, I'm getting out for these more natural walks and, doing all the good stuff, a bit of fitness, whatever. You may be taking on something new creativity-wise. But ultimately, along that journey, if you're doing that journey, the most important thing is to reflect on yourself. I've learned this. This is a new thing to me. I've never done it before. I've never really looked. I've always said to you, this is like I said 3 or 4 times on this podcast alone, I'm here to, for 6 months in, I'm on a self-heal journey, but I've never really stopped and, actually looked inwards and gone, what's changed? How's it changed? How do I feel? Is there some mistakes I've made over the past that I can really embed as a negativity and never do again? Actually analyze it properly. And I cast my mind back to when I was doing CBT therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, and I was doing that. And EMDR is one of these things. I've spoke about it before on my podcast, and often a little sort of digression here, a little tangent, if you like, but one of the things that was given to me when I was doing EMDR training, and please Google it. It's really insightful, but it's what they do for PTSD. And as I said in my previous podcasts, is it didn't work on me. I tried it 4 times and it didn't work. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to allow you to press play on a memory. You talk about a memory whilst they're tapping your hands. You can do it with it's a form of hypnotherapy, I suppose. And I didn't think it'd work, but it bloody did for me, in the sense that it took me back. It didn't work physically, I couldn't process it, but it did work for me, as in I've never been hypnotized before, and I was fully in the car and everything. It was craziest experience ever. But what the whole purpose of that is to press play and talk about the process so you can analyse it and your brain can register it properly. Now, I took that and I've taken that away and I've thought to myself, do you know what? This 2 weeks, it's been a bit tough. It's been a bit hard for me to talk about, mental health, because it's been ups and downs, but I've ultimately just had to reset. And that was because, and this is the adoption I've taken on board, is analyse the last 6 months. And I should have done it earlier, really. I would 110% recommend doing it every 3 months. If you're on a self-heal journey, or even if you're on a negative journey and you're talking to me going, I feel depressed, analyse, stop, reset, and just go, why is it negative? Excuse me. And one of the biggest things that I sort of noticed over the last, I'd say 10 years, is how I never did that. I just let life go by. And even when it was like going to rat shit behind me, and it was, I was doing crazy shit. I was, I wasn't being a great husband, dad, friend. I was just doing what I wanted, selfish for 10 years, just, being depressed. And when I was on a high, it was what I wanted to do. And when I was on a low, it was leave me the fuck alone. That's basically what I've done for 10 years. And in that 10 years, I never really broke it down and said, stop. What's going right and what's going wrong. I never did that. And this is where, I'm able to look into this last 6 months, almost 7, and go, right, use what you've learned in cognitive behavior therapy and transfer it into now, into the here and now. Give you the ability to live in the moment. And one of the things I did is in this last 2 weeks, so it's probably not been 2 weeks, it's been 7, 8, 9 days. So 9 days I haven't done a podcast, which is quite a long time for me when you consider I was doing 3 or 4 a week. So, it is a long time for me. So, but in that time I've had the ability to just go for long walks. I've actually started running as well. Fucking what, he says. Listen to the inspiration on my previous podcast where I talk about my friends just dieting, eating well, getting into fitness, feeling amazing, and changing their absolute outlook on life. And it did. It was proper. It was really infectious for me. So I just went, do you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to get stuck in. And I did. I went for my first run, 3K, so I'm not breaking any barriers. I'm not breaking any records, and I'm not going to run a marathon tomorrow. But you know what? Ultimately, what I've done whilst I've analysed myself is reset. Look at the positives. Look at the negatives. Look at what I've done wrong. Make sure I don't ever do that again. And that's right down to going away and doing 3 site visits in 1 week. It overloaded myself to the point where I came back and I was like, that is crazy stress. And it wasn't just stress, it was tiredness from travelling and everything. So I was like, don't do that again. And I analysed that and reinforced it. I've pulled away from my friends a little bit, but I've done that because I just want to see how things lie. Or do they make the effort? And do you know what? Religiously, I get phoned by one person every single day, no matter what. Message 3 or 4 times a day. So, it's one of those things, and you just think, absolutely incredible. That's what I'm trying to nurture, that type of environment. So, yeah, I felt amazing, and I thought, well, I'll start running. And one night, I was going to start, actually. So I've done 2 runs and 1 5. So 2 runs, 1 3K walk and 1 5K walk this week. So I've done a 3K run, jog. We won't call it a run because that'd be an embarrassment if you saw me. It was a jog. It was just it was a fat man jaunt. Do you know what I mean? So, but I got out there, and then I've done a 3K walk and a 5K walk when I came back from work one day. Didn't take the bus, didn't take the taxi, walked 5K with my work weekend. I've been away for 2 nights, so I had all the gear on, and I was like just yomping up the road with shoes and trousers on, sweating, didn't care, because I was like, extra steps, I feel great. And I have felt great this week. And it all started last week when I got the inspiration of talking on the last podcast. And I was like, right, I need to do this because I keep bloody talking about it. I keep telling people to get fit. I keep telling people to do this, and you're not doing it. And I have a gym membership. So you're being a bit of a joke, James. That's what I was saying to myself. So anyway, Sunday night, bearing in mind I'd been out 2 nights last week, so I was like, but it doesn't matter, I'm going to get up Monday morning and I'm going to go for a run. And I was going to get up Sunday and go for a run. Didn't, because I was a bit hungover. Then Monday I was like, set your alarm 6 o'clock, go for a run. It's going to take you 15-20 minutes or so, crack on with it. Got to the morning, completely bollocks. Snooze, not going for that, going to work, I'll do it tomorrow. So I was going to do it tomorrow. Walked my dog 3 times, went to the evening, and then I was like, just all of a sudden, click of the fingers, went, go now, fat boy, and put my trainers on, joggers, and went for a 3K run. Jog. I keep saying run, but it's not a run. And I felt incredible. The endorphins were released. I came straight back round the corner. Not yet, literally straight away. I did do the 3K, but I mean, as in, like, I came back round, picked the dog up, and I was like, I'll do my cool down with a 1.5K with the dog, so I get an extra 1.5K. And I get to cool down, and he gets to, go out for a walk. So I did that, and I felt amazing. I was like walking along, just going, absolutely incredible. You feel great. I felt a bit tighter, where you're working a bit of muscle. So I just overall felt good. And it's prompted me straight away to go, tomorrow morning, boom, 6 o'clock, get out. You know how long it takes now. I've stopped a couple of times. I'm not going to say I'm sort of Linford Christie and go straight into a, sprint. It's not like that, but at the end of the day, it's getting out and doing it, isn't it? That's the most important thing. And the inspiration was my friends. And that transferred into this. Growing into, like, I'm not talking on my podcast. Okay, accept that you're not in the mood to talk on your podcast. That's fine. Put that to bed. And actually go, right, well, you need to do a bit of bettering yourself. You need to do a bit of self-healing, do something, incorporate it. If you're going to take this time, don't just dump it on the floor and go, because that's what was making me feel amazing, was talking to you guys. And I didn't. I just went, no, it's fine. So I went for the run, felt incredible. And what that's done is just release everything, in the sense that I feel a lot more relaxed. I feel a lot more focused. I feel sort of kind of, it's hard to explain really, but I don't have a lot of stress at the moment, which is a really unusual feeling to not have those tension headaches. I just get to the point where I'm caring a little less about the menial things, the stuff that used to stress me out, and just going, it is what it is a little bit, and trying to just motor on through to make the differences, make the changes. And that's all because I feel a little bit better. I've started sleeping a bit better. But all this has helped in this last couple of weeks. So it's come at the right time for me, really. And I think that for me personally, if I was going to ever offer someone some sort of advice now along this journey, I would absolutely tell someone, stop, take a couple of weeks of not doing whatever hobby you're doing, or, just not even stop what you're doing, actually. No, that's the wrong word. I would just say stop and find some time to reflect. See, I stopped doing my podcast because for me, it's quite consuming in a good way, but it's, in a sense, it does take me. I want to put my heart and soul into it. So I want to offer proper advice. I want to offer proper real life experiences and let you know that ultimately this whole thing is a healing that we can all do together. But what I don't want to do is just turn it into that, just mundane everyday life, just click, 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 click. I don't want to turn it into that. So I want to be able to get that quantity over the quality over quantity. So it was imperative for me, but what the podcast does do really is it brings me forward. It brings me out of my shell. It gets me talking about the things in my head, and kind of going like process. But I've kind of moved into a little bit more of the realms of I enjoy more talking to other people on my podcast. So that's something I'm going to explore. Not something that's been taken up by many, but something I want to explore is having regular talks with people about mental health, not just myself talking about my own journey. That's where I'd like to incorporate that with, I love my mindfulness. I love my mindfulness minute or mindful minutes. I love those just to give you a little bit of food for thought. And I enjoy the reflection for me because on a Sunday, it just helps me process the week. And that's the type of advice that I would offer somebody is get out there. Do the things that you want to do. Don't keep talking about what you're going to do. And I do get a little bit sick of people sort of kind of going, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just get out and do it. It doesn't matter if you fail at it the first time you try. It doesn't matter if you don't meet your expectations the first time. It doesn't matter if you go out for a run and you go, do you know what? I went out for a run. I set my heart on 5K because we're all a little bit ambitious as men, aren't we? We do kind of egg ourselves up a bit. And then when you get out for the 5K, you fail and you're going to set yourself up for failure. Don't kind of do that. Set yourself a little route and say, okay, you need to give yourself a target. Well, give yourself a nice, easy target. If you're going to go for a run or whatever, set yourself a nice, achievable 3K, for instance, 1.5 miles. Set yourself that. It's nice and easy. It's an easy route to, pick out wherever you live local. And just go out and just set out for a jog until you feel a bit knackered. Let your heart rate come back down and go for it again. And do that with whatever you're doing. Not obviously in that same format for everything, but take your time. Just enjoy the process. It's so important to enjoy that. So for me personally, that's what I've got out of this. And what that I can't even talk now. What that will do, that was literally, I was literally biting my own tongue then. I was like, trying to spit it out. But what it will do is give you that ability to focus, keep yourself on point. It will give you that time to reflect, do something you enjoy, set yourself a mini goal. If you don't hit it, it doesn't matter. You tried, you got up, you did something. Rather than sitting there and dwelling and being fixated on your own self-pity or thinking about the negativity and putting on soft, kind of sad songs to try and exacerbate the feelings to make you want to cry. Don't do that. We can all do that. It's the easy option, isn't it? Just to go with it. But we don't want the easy option. We want to fight for ourselves. Give yourself the ability to understand. And that's where, for me, the last couple of weeks, and this is where it kind of hit home for me, is my little support network that I've got around me that I'm always banging on about them as my support network. But I'm also banging on to all you about making sure you're surrounded by the right people, the people that want to care for you, that you want to care for as well. Make sure you're surrounded by them. But what they have done is inspired me. They've actually given me the get up and go to listen to them talking about what they're doing and how they're changing their lives and how they're trying new things, or, they're on a diet, whatever, they're cutting down on their calories. I've got, a friend of mine that does a little video. He does this little parkour type hilarious video constantly. And I think it's brilliant because it's just a little bit of fun, a little bit of joviality. And I've got another friend, that's, absolutely embraced a new start for him. So I'm surrounded by people that are amazing. I've got my friend, we've started, believe it or not, we started golf. I never thought I'd say it. But do you know what? I fucking love it. I really do. Like, I'm selling my wakeboard to hopefully fund a new golf set. Which is a bit of a sad thing to do because I do love my wakeboard, but I can only afford one sport. So for me personally, it's about, finding a sport. I can probably rent if I wanted to go wakeboarding, because I do love wakeboarding. It's an absolutely fantastic sport. And hopefully by the fact I'm moving forward with my back, in the sense of hopefully the osteopath or whatever his name is, it's going to see me in the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks, or 4 weeks, I think it is. So hopefully I'll get some sort of diagnosis, maybe some results from that he can say to me, do this, this and this, and hopefully miracle cure, you're fixed, you can get back to being a normal 40-year-old having a bit of fun. So that's what I'm hoping, but financially that's not sustainable. But golf is amazing. I played golf this morning and I just absolutely love it. I do. It's a peaceful, fun, energetic game where we get fit as well because you're constantly walking. It's just a good laugh, And I know that it's a typical old man sport, isn't it? That's what we traditionally look at it. That's what most people would say. I don't personally. Golf's never really been on my radar, if I'm brutally honest. I kind of always thought it'd be a bit fun, but I'm quite stiff up a board, I've not really got the flexibility to swing the golf club. I've got the strength, there's not the flexibility. So I've always backed off a little bit. Never thought it was much of an adrenaline sport, but do you know what? It's actually more a skillful sport. And that part I'm starting to enjoy. I'm starting to enjoy that element rather than just gung-ho, do as much damage to myself as I can. I'm actually trying to take a bit of time. So, yeah, there's a lot been going on. Absolute ballooned in the sense of just by taking that time to reset myself, pull away from a few things, stop having constant conversations that don't have any meaning to them. Well, they do have meaning to them. Everything has meaning to them. But from my perspective, as in, I didn't want to bore people, and that's where I felt I was going. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But that's how I felt. I didn't feel the feedback was coming. So I just went, you know what, maybe it just needs a little reset, a little cheeky reset here. So I've gone and done that. I feel amazing. I've tried a new sport. I'm enjoying a new sport. And just getting stuck out there is really, really important. So this has been a nice little reset. And it's also given me the ability to focus on hopefully giving you sound advice. And that's where I say to you, absolutely, if you're on any sort of journey, whether it's a negative or whether it's a positive, absolutely take the time. If you're feeling a little bit low, there's no difference to if you're feeling a little bit high, for instance. You still need to give yourself that ability to reset. So get out there and have walks. And that might be really, really difficult for you if you've sat there right now and you're slumped over and you're not giving yourself, the full outlook on life. And trust me, I've been there. Trust me, I have been there. And I know how hard it is. And I wish I had somebody that listened to me, that I could listen to, that could tell me, get out there and do reflection walks. Just go out and take time. Maybe go out and try a walk into a run. Maybe just feel a bit better about yourself. But what it will do is it will give you the ability, whether you're on a low, whether you're on a high, to actually analyse things properly. And that's where I, defer back to, the comment with the EMDR, how it gets you, the whole purpose of that is to get you to process things. Get you to understand them, press play. Well, there's no difference to log in that in your long-term memory banks. If you're going to go for a walk and you're reflecting on your week, like I do absolutely every week, I reflect on my day now every single day. I go for a walk after work. I take the dog out at 5 o'clock and I reflect on my day. Absolutely. Know where I go wrong. So yes, I'm only human, so I will make mistakes. I have made mistakes in the last couple of weeks. I've felt very frustrated in my work, very frustrated. And part of me has had to air those frustrations, and another part of me, should I have aired them? But I'm a big believer, if you don't air your frustrations, nobody will listen or nobody will hear you if you're not giving them something to listen to. So I've absolutely been there. I know what it's like. But you need to be able to look at yourself, whether it's a good or whether it's positive or negative, and just go, if it's negative, try to avoid doing it again. Log it in the long term that didn't make you feel good. Log it in there. Actually process it. Like, it might even be you've had an argument with your partner and you turn around and go, I didn't want to do that. What was I arguing about? I don't really know, or it started off with this. Well, we make sure we don't do that again. Make sure we try to avoid that. And that's basics in life, but we forget the basics, don't we? And that goes across if you've got anything positive. If you've had a good week and you go, do you know what, I've engaged with such and such and he made me have a really good time, I felt amazing, then do it again. If you did a certain sport and it made you feel incredible, go the next week. If you did reflection, mindfulness, body mapping, something that you've incorporated, meditation, yoga, whatever, Pilates, if you've done something, these are all amazing things for your mental health. If you've done one of those and you enjoyed it, do it again the following week. Do it another one time and then see if you go again. If you do it again and it feels amazing, do it another 2 times. And then just go from there. Build yourself up slowly. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to go off the rails, as they say. I have. The classic example this week. People said, "Are you all right?" Yeah, I'm good. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mindset to offer advice, and I'm dealing with a lot of things myself. So I want to offer that mindset with a clean head. And here I am now. Boom, gin in hand. Have a little sip, actually. Thank you. Chin chin and all that. Here I am talking again, and this was a big hurdle for me because I didn't want to sound too boring, which I probably have, but I wanted to offer that advice and how resetting has really helped me. It's made me feel amazing in the sense that I've needed to, because I was up and down like a yo-yo, and in this last couple of weeks, I've engaged with some old friends and stuff like that, and it's kind of made me feel really good, because I've kind of understood where I've gone wrong, and I've spoken openly about where I've gone wrong with these people, because I'm big on being honest, going, okay, that's made a mistake, or that's made a mistake. But everything has value, everything has context, and that's the most important. Whatever you do when you reset, is just making sure, whether it's a positive or negative, that you don't do it again, or you do it again if it's a positive. Don't do it again if it's a negative. Absolutely. Just analyze all the time. You can do that daily. You can do that weekly. You can do that monthly. I do it in a different way. I do daily on the day, every single day. I do weekly to fully analyze my week. And I do 3 monthly, or roughly around about 3 monthly. This was a little bit over because I've been doing a lot of different, and I've had a lot of ups and downs. But I felt great this week because I've looked at it and gone, okay, you've made some mistakes there, you made some mistakes there, but you're better there now than you were. So there's always positives and there's always negatives. So little short one today, because I don't want to drone on and bore you really. Hopefully, motivational minute coming tomorrow, which I'm super excited about because I've left it again a week, just to catch us up, give us some inspiration for the week, especially me. Got another busy week this week, but hopefully I'm going to try and tie in a live this week. I want to talk to somebody. I want to jump on with a little cheeky live. So let's see if one of my friends will oblige just to have a little catch up with them on live. That'd be amazing if I can. But thank you very much for listening, and thank you for allowing me the time to reflect, and also remember to give yourself the time to reflect as well. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.